Hi, everybody. So as you can see, we're in a new setting, but this is another episode of When Starbucks Was Fun. Not the house medium, not me plugging it. It does look like it. Kind of, sort of. And as you can see, we have a guest that we're going to introduce in a minute. But for those of you who are new to our podcast, this is a podcast about opening up the 5th Starbucks in Los Angeles, the 4th Starbucks, busiest Starbucks in the world, we found out. And we're we're kind of going down memory lane and kind of reliving when Starbucks was fun. And this is Sheila, and she was, well, we're going to get into all that.
We're going to get into it.
But she's part of the OG
Sheila.
crew.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know. Weirdly, I just realized that was my mom.
Oh, really?
Yes,
my
mom who passed.
Oh, my God.
And so maybe we'll have a merging of podcasts.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be like, what is it called when they have like two shows, like
a crossover?
Crossover.
Like when the Fantasy Island
and crossover.
Oh my gosh.
We need to update Jeff's reference.
Well, they're all coming back. There's a show coming. It's called Dr. Love Odyssey or something like that. Yeah. That's like
The new Fantasy Island is terrible.
I think
I had to yell
the original
that into
wasn't so great.
What?
I mean, like,
Sheila.
no.
I'm gonna enjoy saying her name over and over.
It was awesome, but it was just like, it's just so stilted in their acting and everything. It's just like, oh my gosh.
It was, and it still is. Yeah. That's kind of how it is now.
70s and 80s, that's how.
70s, 80s, but we're gonna give Jeff a little bit, current reference points, Maybe bring it a little up. But anyway, I'm Adela Levine. I am one of the hosts of this podcast, and this is
Jeff Hartman, the other host of this podcast.
Okay, try not to shake the camera.
Sorry, I got excited.
We were trying.
I've seen Sheila in like 100,000.
I know. And I realize I'm gonna have fun saying her name because I never called my mom by her first name, Sheila, except for now that she's on the other side. But it just kind of feels neat.
It's weird that your mom thing was Sheila. I never knew.
Yes.
And Sheila never knew.
I did not.
I just want you to know that I'm not gonna put my true feelings of her onto her.
Okay.
She's got a kinder soul, feels like.
She's wearing yellow. It's bright and happy.
It's bright.
It's summer.
She's wearing a yellow sweater, which has boggled me in Jeff's mind because it's 100 degrees. Don't let her fool you. It is hot.
It's hot.
It is so hot that you might hear a fan blowing a lot because we need it. We're not going to make it through this podcast if we don't have it. So, with that said, Jeff, do you want to give us a little, little background of Sheila, or where do we want to start with her?
Well, the first thing is, Sheila, I know from working at Studio City. Mm-hmm. For purposes of this podcast, side note, we're going to call the Ventura Vantage store Studio City.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we always call it. That's what we grew up. We grew up.
We did.
We grew up.
We grew up.
So
when we were children.
Practically were. I mean, come on.
Oh, man. I forgot that sound effect. Okay, good. Keep going. Okay. I'm going to bring it up.
So I know that Sheila was hired after we were already there. Mm-hmm. So the first question I have for Sheila is, when were you hired at Studio City, and why did you choose Starbucks?
Okay. Well, I was hired in January of 96. I had just moved to LA. I chose Starbucks because when I lived in New York, I actually went to a hiring fair. In Soho.
You're from New York?
I was going to school in New York. I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
But yeah, I was going to AMDA in New York, and I was a broke ass student. I needed a job because my money had run out. Okay. So, so I saw hiring. Actually, I was walking down Broadway with our friends, and there was Starbucks was sampling all the little frappuccinos.
You realize Jeff's gonna break out in song. Just don't shake the table.
Lights are bright on Broadway.
Just remember, there are other people around.
This isn't soundproof.
Oh, too.
We're in magical area.
So anyway, there was like Starbucks popping up on every corner on Broadway. I lived on 91st and Broadway, and like, so you just keep on walking like down the blocks, right?
I lived in New York. I'm familiar.
Okay. So yeah, so back then I was just like, oh my gosh, all these like Starbucks, and they're sampling these like little frappuccinos. I'm like, oh, let's do this. This is awesome. Oh my gosh, And so I'm like, I like coffee. Maybe I'll just go to this, one on 86. And they're like, actually, we're all hired up, but you can go to the hiring fair in Soho. I'm like, okay, great. So I did.
Soho.
In
wow.
Soho,
Posh.
yeah.
Posh.
And
you know about Soho.
I hustled my cookies all the way over there. And it was like, okay, like a little interview. And then that was it. And my semester was ending. And so I was just like, I need to get something or I'm moving back home. So I didn't hear anything, and a couple of weeks have passed, and I was just like, okay, well, I gotta go home. I'm gonna be kicked out of this dorm. And so
where were you going to school at?
AMDA, American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Oh, you were like in the arts school.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
I like
and
fancy.
I'm so fancy.
She's singing current songs. Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
I'm just pointing it out.
So I got a call, and like I'm like packed up with all my stuff, and they're like, "Hey, we like you. You're hired." I'm like, "Hey, I gotta go home. Bye." So yeah. So I went back. I grew up in San Luis Obispo, even though Chicago will always be my first home. And I kind of just.
My husband's from Chicago.
Oh, really?
So I hear about it quite
Chicago,
often.
Sheila,
Chicago people are
all interconnected.
They're but Chicago people.
We're real. I'm just gonna say
They're real.
Okay.
They're tough. Like they don't.
We don't play.
Pizza.
Okay, you know what? Chicago pizza. I said this until I had, what's the famous one?
There's Lou Malnati's. There's
Lou Malnati's.
Okay, yeah.
I had Lou because you can order the best taste of Chicago. You can order. So we've done that a few times.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and I
good.
was all like, New York pizza. I because we thought we know deep dish. We do not.
No.
The deep dish in LA is bullshit, terrible. This is like heaven.
Yes.
And I said, I take it all back. Okay, Chicago pizza is amazing. Yes. Okay. Anyway.
Like the deep dish, but like my neighborhood, there's a pizza is called a pizza place is called Falco's, and that's my go-to. That I miss Falco's so much. And when I talk about Chicago, then the accent comes out every once in a while.
So let's go there.
It's hilarious because the same thing happens to my husband. And there's certain words, and he'll say "dal," and I'll go. Yeah. Can't get that Chicago out of you.
No, you can't.
They're tough. They're tough. They're really tough.
We're New York adjacent, I feel, so we just, anyway. So yeah, I'm back in San Luis Obispo. I'm like, working and just kind of recovering some money that I lost. And I was set to go back to New York, but then a lot of crap fell through. And then my friends from AMDA, they're like, hey, we're moving to LA. I'm like, well, I'll go with you because, I went to school for acting. So it's either in New York or LA.
Right.
And then, that's how I went to the Starbucks in Studio City. I was like, back in the day where you can just like grab applications from every, so I picked one up from like Save-On and from like Stroud's and from like Save-On right across the street, right? Next to Mexicali and Stroud's and then Starbucks. And I said, hey, I actually I kind of was hired already, but they're like, oh, whatever, just ripped open the application, handed it to me. I went home, filled it out, brought it back. And then I didn't hear anything. And so I'm like, let me call these fools, So I called a couple of times. And then, I got interviewed, and I was interviewed initially by
What
Gina.
year was that?
This is 96.
Oh, so this is 2 years later.
Gina.
This is why I think we kind of passed.
Yeah, I think
you were on your way out.
My way out.
I remember working with you, and I was just like, oh.
You're a Chicago girl.
I know, but still, when I
was raised by New Yorkers.
Oh, well, there's that, but also there was such a strong clique at Studio City that I was just like, I was just kind of absorbing everyone in, you know.
I think we recognize it now as trauma bonding.
Yeah.
We trauma bonded.
I believe that. Yes.
100%. It was like.
Agreed.
Because I literally, Starbucks, there was a lot of good things that came out of it, but the amount of shit we got from people and how it was just kind of like rough and brutal at times. So I think we kind of created this little like, okay, this is I remember going, this is the only thing I love about it. It's the coffee and the people I get to work with.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I was pretty much definitely like that probably. People came in, and I also never thought most people didn't stay.
Right.
I was so used to people coming in, I was like, I'll know you for like 10 minutes.
Right.
You know, and
I'm
you're
not
going to leave.
Invest in you.
Yeah, that was kind of what I felt, because there was so many people that would come and go and come and go and come and go. So I think like we were kind of like ships passing in the night.
Yeah.
Because like when she walked in, I kind of was like, I know this face.
Yes.
But I feel like it was just like that. Like I know you, but I'm out. And
I think you were like more like afternoon shift or like night.
I was a closer.
Yeah, you were a closer.
I was a closing queen.
And I got like in the beginning, like the opening shift or the COD. Remember that COD shift?
Coffee.
6:30 in the morning. Coffee of the day. Yep.
That means she had to grind the coffee beans fresh and then put them on these large filters.
Yeah, in a bucket.
And then be all flimsy in a bucket. Yeah. And remember, having to like line them up with a tissue paper. Yeah.
Tissue paper from pastry. Yep. That was the high tech that we were working with. Yeah. And it was very grueling.
It was.
Because anybody had to do COD was not. It was, like, at least you got left alone, though.
That was the cool part. Like, you know, because like, especially like when you first start, like, you know, they're like, you'll just do COD, like, you know, stay away from Maine and the bar. Yeah. And I remember being intimidated by the bar and like, you know, it was just so high paced and just moving so fast, you know, which
the bar was so different than that's what I think people who are used to Starbucks today, they have to realize the bar was just like, you're pulling shot, like Andy described it for.
Yeah, exactly. Everything now is a
push button.
I know when I look, I'm like, are you even timing those espresso shots? Do you see that crema? There's no crema in there. Because
it's all like, it is timed. They just push it. And the cool thing is, you know how like in fast food stores, they, Starbucks, they like, when they get like soda, they put the soda under and then it has a timer for each size.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how it is now with Starbucks. So they just put the size and it just pulls the shot. Yeah, it's not the same, but they grew so big they couldn't.
That's like when I go in now, I'll just get like a cold brew or a drip.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like mess like
You're a drip.
I'm a drip.
So you get hired by G. Now, did you interview with Tony ever?
No. I didn't meet Tony till like later, probably like a week or two after, right? But I was interviewed by Gina and then by Brenda.
Oh, Brenda.
And Brenda, like, you know, she gave me the lowdown on like, you know, this particular store and how like we're like the, you know, the store for like celebrities and like, you know, for actors. Please don't bring your headshot and
because people did. People, do you guys remember people giving?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I tell somebody's name, or do you think I'll get that?
Go for it.
Kevin Fry.
Because I'm bad.
Remember Kevin Fry?
Oh my gosh.
He was who trained me on bar, and he was such an actor.
Oh my god.
I do remember Kevin.
And he was like,
yeah, he was. He was.
Mary Tyler Moore came in. He was like, he ran to the bar to make her drink. And then he's like,
that was such a big deal too, like to go and make your celebrities drink.
And so he puts it up and goes, big fan of your work. And he shook her hand, and I'm like, what's that?
Well, here's I have a story because I'm pretty sure this is him because he used to do the same thing to what's the guy who played Norm on Cheers?
George
Wendt.
George Wendt came in every morning. His wife, he would park outside, and his wife would come in and get 4 drinks, the same drinks. And every time she came in, he would kiss her butt and give free coupons. So finally, I was always on bar making her drinks. So I finally whispered one day, "Hey, how do you you know, these people like doing this to you, you know, they're like trying to get something from you. And she was like, honey, of course I know this. And she's like, it isn't going to work.
Wait, aren't they from Chicago too, the Wentz? I think they are. I'm just saying, call back.
Yeah, but Chicago, New York, you come into LA, you got to play the game, so I get it, Right. Every once in a while, it's like, no, I know you. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
She was very like, yeah, I got it. I'm onto it. Don't worry about it, honey. And I was like, okay, I figured. But that's how much he did that all the time. I do remember him. Yeah. He was like very.
That's in the morning.
I think that was the only reason why he worked there to meet people.
Tony might have known him, but I just remember being on the bar one time, and he's like, "Okay, this is a cap. That's a latte. That's a mocha. Make sure you get it straight." And I was like,
"What?
Who are you?"
Yeah. You're like, well, first of all, I'm gay, so.
And I mean, allegedly he wasn't, but I'm not calling anybody out.
So adorable.
We don't want to call anyone out.
So you went to Studio City. You got hired.
Yep.
You were doing COD, and then
opening shifts. Yeah.
Did you ever go to a training center?
Oh yeah, I remember. Oh, that was awesome. I'm like, can I just be in these classes all the time and get paid?
Did you have to go to a cheap motel like I did?
I did not.
You know why? Because it's 2 years later, and they have like actual schools now. Yeah. I mean, because I think the funniest thing about you is I think
Excuse me?
Well, I would say not the funniest thing. I was trying to say is that the most information that made sense to me from Andy and Tony was that they were opening stores so fast.
Yeah, one a day.
Yeah, that they were like, okay, but by the time she came along, she probably got the more perfected version I got, which I was in an actual, because we opened that started
because they were now prepared.
And I didn't realize how fast they were opening by the time you came along even. That's like quick.
Yeah.
So they were like probably had it down.
Oh yeah, I had coffee knowledge, like I don't know, history of the bean or whatever the hell, but
Yeah.
But I was just like,
history of the bean.
Yeah. And you had a sip and like a wine tasting almost, like this.
Yes.
What do you taste?
What do you taste?
Woodsy?
I was like, I taste coffee.
Taste coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But
you taste the chocolate notes? Nope, sure don't.
Maybe if you just have me come back for another class, maybe I might taste those chocolate notes.
I'm moving the mic. Please don't be mad at me, everyone.
I'm not mad. I'm angry.
No, I mean, people might hear it. Sorry if I made noise in your ear.
So,
but that was fun going to those coffee classes. I really to this day, for coffee, keep it out of light, away from heat and moisture.
Mm-hmm. Starbucks, you did your job.
She's good to go.
You raised a generation of coffee knowledgers. Masters? I don't know.
That is a term. It's called master roasters.
Oh, I do remember that.
Because when I later got into the coffee world that I told you about, I went and met master roasters. And they are serious about it. A little too serious about it.
I mean,
it's
okay. They got a lot going on. So now, did you ever work at a different store?
I did. Studio City was my home base.
Yeah.
But a couple of times when I had to cover a shift, I remember covering a shift at Sherman Oaks.
Which isn't there anymore.
I know, that's so crazy. I cannot believe it's not there. I thought that was going to be there forever.
Because it's like they're flat.
That with the cockroaches and fucking Rolling Stones. Survive.
The last surviving Starbucks will be in Sherman Oaks. Wrong.
But that was such a cramped store.
Yeah.
Because Studio City was nice and spread out.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Now that is they chopped it in half. It's crazy. But
it's really weird,
right?
Yeah.
That's really weird. But Sherman Oaks was always very cramped.
They chopped it in half. What do you mean?
I mean, with all the remodeling,
the remodeling is definitely
to this day,
that
I
makes sense.
You walk in and straight to the left, that was Beanland,
right,
and then You had main, like pastry case.
Yep.
And then
They
the
took
bar
the main
in the
away.
middle.
Yeah.
And then like in the back, that was like all the frappuccinos, blenders,
Yep.
and all that. And then on the other side, near the bathroom, that was speed. So
Yeah.
that was the setup
Yeah,
that
they
I
took the
still
main
remember.
register away.
Yeah.
Well, they also added a bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
That was weird, people.
That was a very important
I
place.
was very excited.
That deserves like a mic drop. Or there you go.
I was confused that there was 2 bathrooms. Because Robert broke the toilet only in one.
Oh my God.
Okay, does she recall this story?
Oh, Robert?
Yeah.
I remember Robert.
But do you remember him breaking a toilet?
I don't think you were there that day.
No. I bet like I do remember him just hanging around all the time, and I don't know if.
And he would give us tips. Like he would tip us. He was a throwback for people who may have not heard previous episodes. Robert was unhoused man who was like this tall, skinny guy, and he would come up and go, "Can I have your t-shirt?"
Yep.
T-shirt? Because we used to give out.
They don't need. I should go.
Oh, those little mini.
Do they still do it?
I don't know. Actually, you know what? I think so, because like whenever I ask like for like oat milk or whatever, like
they give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he knew that he could get a free taste.
Yeah,
and we often just gave him a cup of coffee all the time. Yeah. And he somehow broke the toilet, and we don't know how. It's a mystery because the guy, either he had another Jekyll and Hyde situation because he looked like tall beanpole, like nothing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like he was weathered.
Yeah,
very weathered.
Like he would be there, and then he was like gone for a long time, and then he came back. And Paul, my husband, that I met at Starbucks. Hold up. Wait
a minute.
Yes, we were going to get there, but you already jumped. But let's do it.
Let's do it. Pause, everybody. We need to know. You met your husband. Oh
my God! You're right.
I did too.
You met your husband told you Starbucks?
This first one, and that was another reason why Starbucks has ruined my fucking life. Anyway, the first
one. Okay, but Sheila's still with.
I'm sorry. It just jogged me. Sorry about Sheila. Go ahead. Go for your story.
But
more pleasant.
I think Paul had asked Robert, like, "Hey man, where you been?" And he's like, "Oh, I walked over to San Francisco." And And Paul was like thinking, you know what? You probably did.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, back up. Did he work at Starbucks?
Yeah.
Oh, mine didn't. Mine was a customer. So yours worked.
Yeah. No,
well, he was a customer first, wasn't he?
Paul?
Yeah.
Like a date night, and then that was it. And then he worked at Video West. Like
I was gonna say the only reason I knew Paul.
Wait. I have questions along the way. How do you know he had a date night at Starbucks?
He told me.
Okay, I figured.
Oh,
you were like, what were you doing, sniffing around? Then he's like, you know what? Screw this date. I want her. We seemed like there was a whole plan going on. He's like, I'm playing the long game.
Yeah.
I'm going to work for Starbucks. Then I'm going to work on her, and I'm going to make her my wife.
I remember
Paul's thinking.
Because I used to go to Video West often.
Yes.
Video West, that's videos for everybody who does
videotapes.
Videotapes.
VCRs. Before DVDs.
All ancient now. But anyway.
I still have some, but whatever.
But
I remember Paul, he had long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally remember.
Ooh,
yes. And that one.
And red.
Yes.
Redhead.
Oh, it's red.
He's a ginger.
He's a ginger. He's my ginger. But you told me that only gingers can.
Oh,
really? Do they get insulted? We're getting an insight to the redhead community.
No, they do. It's always.
Do you know that they have a redhead convention? And
I do.
Okay, of course she does. Why am I asking?
My daughter's also.
I was going to say your daughter's a redhead.
Okay, we're getting
off course.
But I think it's okay. I want to know how this relationship. How did you? This is obviously Starbucks kind of made a pivotal change in your life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Yeah.
I mean,
besides meeting Matt and I.
Oh my gosh! No, you guys were my saviors. Like honestly, once
all right, here we go. There we go. There's your applause.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Over her the husband and
Thank
the
you.
father of her
Thank
children.
you.
I'm sure.
Thank you. I know. If only Matt were here to enjoy
He really likes you. All right.
No, but prior to Paul working there, you and Matt, Rob, Stacy, but like Stacy didn't get hired till like way later, but like I think the summer of '96, but like you guys, Tammy, like you guys were the cool kids to me. Like you guys were like seniors,
still are
like this freshman.
We were like the pink ladies.
You totally were.
We're gonna rule the school.
Another old throwback.
Oh, people know Grease. It's a classic now.
It's been a classic for the past 20
your
years
mouth.
ago. It was
Stop
a classic.
Talking.
Just trying to remind him.
Stop talking.
Sheila, a 23-year-old. Just saying.
Okay.
Saying.
So.
Okay.
Paul.
Oh, well, I was just, prior to Paul, like, if it weren't for you guys, like, I don't know if I would have stayed there, like, honestly, because, like,
so you are part of her marriage.
Well, that's a weird thing. It's not a throuple.
We all just
rewind that.
The truth came out. Now I know it's really been happening.
Jen, my daughter.
Can you imagine? She just goes,
she waited for this podcast to tell everyone.
Live. What is this, like a Jerry Springer show?
Bring her out.
Maury Povich?
Hey, can you bring her out?
You are not the father.
Hey, she's coming.
So, yes, I do remember a lot of Matt and I and Sheila hanging out a lot back in those days.
Yeah.
I mean, you were very pivotal in our camp out with Matt and Jeff.
That was
you were there all the time. Yeah, you were always game for it.
You have to remind people who may not know. I know this might be shocking. One, they may not know public access shows, that even what that was. And two, they may not actually know the show.
Right. So Matt and I had a show on public access called Camp Out with Matt and Jeff. And it was like a campy, irreverent sketch comedy / talk show. It was just a barrage of everything.
Funny people doing funny things.
And we wrote all our own stuff. We filmed all our own stuff. And Sheila was always game to be part of it. We'd be like, we need Sheila in this. We need Sheila in this. And she's like, okay, I'll do it. Yeah. Like, we did this whole Fatal Attraction spoof when the movie Primary Colors, also an old movie. Google it.
Look it up, kids.
It was John Travolta and Emma Sands, I think?
Emma Thompson.
Not Sam. Emma Thompson, sorry. I worked on General Hospital for 14 years. Emma Sands was on that show, sorry.
Okay.
Emma Thompson, he was playing like the president and the first lady. And it was sort of like a Clinton-esque. So it was during the Clinton
They were inspired by the Clintons, yeah.
And so we heard this movie was coming out. So Matt and I came up with this idea to do a spoof of Primary saying, oh, we got a leak here's a preview of Primary Colors. And so we did. It was also the same time that Clinton and Lewinsky, that whole thing came out. Mm-hmm. So we did a shot for shot of Fatal Attraction, and I played the Michael Douglas character. Matt played the wife, and Sheila was the Glenn Close, but she was Monica Lewinsky.
Yep. Oh, okay, this is funny. This is good.
And it was amazing. I wish we still had it. I mean, so anyway. So Sheila, we all hung out. We went to Stacy's wedding. Yeah. So
and because after a while you find out or I found out we're all actors here,
Yeah.
And I was
I always knew everyone I was working with was actors, just for the record.
And it was
me and Carol.
Oh yeah. Oh, Coco.
Cocolata.
Shout out to Cocolata.
Yeah. But yeah, I just because that it was such an intense time working there.
Mm-hmm.
And I really had to shut my mouth because these people that would come in and not even say hi or any of that.
Okay, horror story. Best horror story.
Wait a minute. Wait. I just have to say, as the producer of this show, Can we roll back to how you met your husband? Because
Yes.
I know Jeff just was like, and anyway, me and her, and me and her, and me and her, which I appreciate the love. But I'm really over here hanging, waiting for the love story of your life. Okay, can we hear it?
I worked at Starbucks for 7 years. So like it was like 97, Paul got hired.
Okay.
And I was like starting to, train to become a shift supervisor. But that didn't happen for a while. So anyway, like, we were just like working together, but I do remember like the assistant manager at the time, John Tetmeyer, who was very afraid of working. Sorry, John, but I mean, like, you would abandon us all the time.
She just said it. She said it. She said it.
I mean, like,
and we're okay with it.
You're a cool guy, like, but the floor was not your thing. So
there you go. Floor was not your thing. We've seen those kind of managers, so I believe her. Hiding out in the back.
Yeah, in the back.
You remember leads like that? They would be like, did it take you an hour while we're closing to do all that money?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been complicated money stuff.
The reports.
The reports,
yeah.
Right. Okay,
yeah.
I feel you.
So, yeah, Paul, like, it's a Saturday morning and it's crazy busy. I'm on bar and, just like tamping, and like, all right, grinding non-fat latte, triple 1/3 decaf, non-fat, no foam latte, got it, calling it, right? And marking the cups and with a Sharpie and all that. And Paul is on speed register and he starts calling out a drink and he's not trained. He has like, because he was not trained, John. And
that John, you didn't train him, John,
Guess
but
what?
she still got him anyway.
Guess what?
Guess who trained him? She did.
I did.
Sheila did.
Paul was like,
in the ways of love.
He doesn't even have like his like own like register. Like, I found out later, Paul told me later that like, Paul went in the back and John is like watching the monitors, whatever. And Paul's like, there's like a line out there. And he looks up, he's like, here are my numbers. And hands him a piece of paper to go
with his
log
password.
in. Yeah. His number and the password to log in on the register and start taking,
And that is fireable.
And so Paul starts like calling out a drink.
Wow.
He's like,
Paul.
Can I get a tall latte with 2 shots, not that milk, and a sweet and low, like the customers like.
Yeah.
And the sweet and low, and I'm like, all right, you're gonna have to speak up,
Yeah.
Because it's so loud. You have the grinders going for like people who are getting beans. You have the frappuccinos being blended. You're calling these drinks, and it is fast paced, like tamping. Oh, I loved tamping on that tin box,
Wow.
With that portafilter, because every once in a while you get like, well, not every once in a while, like every other customer is like, someone that you just want to show, hey, I could kill
See
you.
what I mean? See, I wasn't so bad now, was I? Everybody's giving me shit. I told you. It was brutal, right?
Yeah, it was so brutal. Like, and
Thank you, Sheila.
And these people, they had like,
I'm feeling healing happening.
Yes.
More
Where's
than
your fan?
her name, her like validating my feelings.
I mean, like, I was not into the studio city people at all.
Yeah,
they were brutal.
Oh my gosh! And if they
hear
were
that,
brutal,
Brian?
Then there would be. There's this one.
You
actor.
guys have a fight going on, you and Brian.
There's this one actor who would come in. He works a lot. He's a character actor, and he would come in every Saturday and 2 grande non-fat lattes, 1 for Anne, and a croissant.
Okay. The croissant.
croissant.
Oh my god.
When they would,
my
my god, I remember.
The
A
croissant.
blueberry scone.
Remember the croissant thing?
Croissant.
I would purposely
And
go
I
like,
would
give
be
me croissant.
Oh my god, I think we've just formed a friendship. all this time we could have been friends.
Baby Jane, baby. Favorite movie. Yes, because I literally would purposely do that. I
Yeah.
would be like, you know what? You're in LA, bitch. Like, what are you
And
talking
just,
about?
stop it.
Croissant.
A croissant.
Croissant.
You know, and just his whole demeanor, you'd always be
Yes.
Because
you're
people
like,
don't realize
yeah.
that back then, as you guys might go, well, you know, why are people so big on croissant? Back then, it was kind of a new idea to even get croissants.
Yeah.
This may sound crazy, but it wasn't like people were just getting
Yeah.
croissants and blue. All of this coffee culture, like, was considered upscale.
Yeah.
So LA people were like, "Oh, we're not doing donuts anymore." Because
Yeah,
remember,
right, exactly.
Starbucks killed
Oh,
donuts.
yeah.
Winchell's, remember Winchell's?
Starbucks kills donuts.
I'm going to make that a sound effect. Because I
Donuts.
remember watching Winchell's was popular in LA. It wasn't Dunkin' Donuts.
Uh-huh.
And I remember watching them close after Starbucks because people were like, donuts
I didn't even think about
is
that. You're
terrible
right.
for you. But croissants aren't really. I mean,
Bagels were big,
you know,
but
Those were fancy.
And they're fancy, and so,
They thought they were
And
fancy.
I think a lot of like the mentality was
Mhm.
for our customers was well, I may not know how to, but I can say croissant.
yeah.
I'll teach them.
It was the worst.
They're trying to teach me. I'm going to teach them. It's a croissant.
Yeah, it was the worst.
I like when they go, can I get an Americano?
And the espresso. They would go espresso.
Oh, espresso. Yes.
Wait, where's
Oh my
my? Go ahead, keep going. Keep
Yeah.
telling us this. This is
Where's my Starbucks?
Jeff's favorite. That was pretty much our
All the time.
all the time.
Where's our drink?
Yeah.
And I mean, like,
All the
I
time.
did again. I would have to
Where's my
turn my
Starbucks?
Yeah.
self down. I mean, because I
It was
really,
hard.
I just had a mouth.
You
on
got a
me.
Chicago girl
Yeah.
working in LA? Oh, hell no.
Don't push.
Hell no.
No.
Do not
In
push.
those days?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I just
Mhm.
feel, and like if people got online, I'd be like, okay, you gotta get back in line. Just like
Ah.
I
My-
actually said that to Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley, and they were so nice, and I had no idea
Who they
Like-
were?
No, I knew who they were, but I was like, I'm Maine, and I'm just like, all right, my backup person is like telling me, who's next, and then I see like these people get out of line, and they're rather tall, and I'm like, okay, you guys, you have to get back in line. The line goes this way, and Hugh Grant was just, oh, so sorry.
Oh, so sorry.
And then I look up, and I'm like,
Yeah. And that's kind of what was cool. Most of them would wait in line.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so now back to your love story.
Back to Pablito. Okay, that's why I call him.
Aw.
Cute.
Because I'm Mexican.
And she
So-
speaks Spanish.
Como no?
I'm half Mexican and I do not.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I'll
I'm
teach you.
learning on an app, sadly,
Mhm.
because that person wasn't in my life.
Aw.
Oh.
But yeah,
She's
no,
like, whatever.
Oh, well, I'll teach you. But yeah, so after a while, he got the hang of it, and then he'd be like such a sweetheart, like he would switch my shuttle,
Oh, one of those.
Yes,
Really?
How romantic.
It was because when we had to go and get that drip coffee because that's what I mean. That's what you would have to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
And like that fucker would sprout at you like the coffee like. You're
Oh,
not gonna
yeah,
step back,
that's true.
And that fucking.
She's been
Oh, yeah.
traumatized,
Or,
everyone. I can tell.
You get a tea, and that hot water.
Oh,
and
the
so-
hot water.
Oh my god! Or
For
God forbid,
God, I'm
like
starting-
you like the filter.
PTSD. Why are you doing this to me, Sheila? We were going
I'm
so
going
well.
under the table.
We were doing so well.
We'll talk about fraps in a bit. Get you cool down. But,
Frappuccino, not fraps.
yes. Oh yes. Frappuccino.
We did used to call him Crappuccino.
Oh yeah.
And we used to say Starbucks. I said it. We did.
So if you want to sponsor us, please write to
We're in our 20s. Now we appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
because
Hear that,
Yeah.
Starbucks?
it's worse now. I mean,
We're
Oh
still
my
for
God.
sale. Or your competitor can call us. Duncan.
so he switched his shuttles.
Okay.
He would switch my shuttles.
Yes.
He
By the way,
on top of
shuttle just means coffee,
the coffee.
urns.
Yeah, the big
coffee
metal-
urns,
Yeah.
They were like big boxy
She's using all the
ones,
official terms. I don't even think I call them shuttles.
I remember now that you said it. I remembered it.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He would do like
Clearly.
an awesome lobby. He'd be on top of it.
He was on top of her.
He was
Oh, boom!
Oh,
Mic drop.
Oh, I'm a little late. There we go. We like it.
That didn't happen until way later. But yeah, no, and he was hilarious. He made me laugh, and I needed that so badly.
Yeah,
like,
that helps.
That laughter
Sure.
was such the medicine that we all needed.
Yeah. Well, I think by the time I'm sorry to interrupt again. By the time Paul came on, Matt and I had left.
You had left. Matt was still.
I was at Thousand Oaks. No, I wasn't. I was at
You were
Toluca
Toluca
Lake.
Yeah.
Thousand Oaks.
Yeah.
Don't hate yourself, Jeff. Please. It's okay. We're here
I was
for
at
you.
Toluca Lake. But you know why I went to Toluca Lake?
Well, you were done with Studio City. I knew
Well,
that,
you know
right?
who was the catalyst to that? The person who was sitting in the back.
Oh, John Tedmeyer. Oh my God.
The
The secret
non-working
comes out.
A non-working manager.
I couldn't get along with him.
Well, the funny thing about John Tedmeyer too is like he was supposed to be like this, like like secret ninja or something like that. Like he like was way into martial arts, and Paul would imitate him very well, and it would make my day because dude could not handle bar. Any type of any type of mishap on bar, and that happens all the time. But steam wand, gets on him, and he would leave. Bust through the back, and a little hot water from the porta filter, when you would take it out, and it would still have droplets, and and he would
Now was he like the Kathy comic?
No. No, he'd just be all like, and then and then take off so he can say that he was
actor.
Adela's like, what have I done to myself?
No more.
Okay,
but yeah, he couldn't handle. John couldn't handle it. Paul, would kind of clean up his mess a lot, and then often imitate him, and then make.
So
when was your first date?
It was we were friends for a long time, for about 7 months, and we would go to Starbucks parties, whoever was having a party or whatever. And
People had Starbucks parties?
Well, just after
you
work.
weren't there then.
Just after work, or there'd be a party.
For me.
So
You're uninvited.
By the way, when I was introduced to Paul, it was in the back room, and he had such a what was it, RMT or whatever, he had he looked like he was training to be a manager. He had that uniform and all that.
Right.
And so at this point I was just like, I gotta play. Hi, I'm Sheila. and he does this to me. And he walks away. I'm like,
she shook her head for those listening. Up and down.
He just kind of nodded and just took off, and I was just like, narc, I was just
RMT. I remember that.
So thought he was straight laced. He was I thought he was going to be training for a manager position, and then months later, I happened to find him at a friend of ours from Starbucks. And we're smoking some pot.
Oh,
and
oh my god! And
what? But you didn't inhale.
No, I didn't. I saw him at our
Clayton.
friend Rob's apartment, and I was just like, "What is he?" In my head, what is he doing here? We're not going to get in trouble. And then I see him getting a little weird. I was just like, "Oh,
so he's cool."
Okay, so. He's with it. All right. Okay, cool.
So you dated,
and so we just kept on working together. We were hanging out, and I remember one night he came. The store had stayed open because they were shooting Mighty Joe Young. Rob Fox and I were working that shift
on Ventura Boulevard.
On Ventura Boulevard, starring Charlize Theron. I think.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yeah, I'll work that shift, just for these guys.
Right.
I don't have to deal with the actual,
Customer.
people.
Mhm.
Cool, yeah. And he came by, and I'm just like, "What you doing here?" You know, and he just wanted to like hang out. I was like,
So what year did you guys get married?
We got married we had kids first. So we got married. We're going to celebrate our 20th next
Aww, we have to do. And how appropriate? Oh wait, it's not on. It's a wedding applause. There you go. Wedding applause. Okay, so you've been together.
And then just like really quickly, we closed when after that. Like he thought like we were gonna get together that night, and I was like, no, we're friends. And like a couple months later, we had a closing shift, and it was Fridays and Saturdays. We would close at 1.
We were open late though.
We used to be closed at like 1 o'clock. Oh my god!
Like see all the Mexicali people, drunk people come in, and
that was the restaurant across from.
Yeah.
So now you've been together for 20 years, and it's all thanks 27 years, and all thanks to Starbucks. Do you have how many kids?
We had 2.
2 kids and a marriage from Starbucks. Thanks, Starbucks.
And
thanks, Starbucks.
Also,
thanks.
Our daughter worked
at Starbucks?
At Pete's, down the block.
Oh, snap. She was like competitor.
I said...
By the way, Pete's, we are for sale, too. Just saying.
I said to Adela, what if, there's like a second generation Starbucks barista. So when you were saying that, I was about to get really excited.
Yeah, he thought he was going to be right.
Sorry,
but he was wrong.
She did apply, but Pete's
so what was the question, the horror story? What's your best horror story? Yeah.
Oh, like customer wise?
Mm-hmm.
In general.
Just pick one.
Oh my gosh. Probably one. This is like early on. One of the guys I was working with, Rocky, who looked a lot like Tony to me. He had like long hair. He was pretty.
Oh,
he was
real
pretty
skinny.
Hyper. Yeah, he was really thin and pretty hyper. He decided, let's do an espresso shot contest.
We used to do that.
Oh, geez. This isn't going to end well.
And so it did not. And so
it's like the episode from The Office when they all did the coffee.
We did like 9 shots of espresso, like trying to outdo each other. And
don't do this at home, kids.
Being so sick in the bathroom, like I was just like, oh my god, no. And Ted Meyer was just like, "Hey, you all right in there?" And I'm like, "No, it's all right. Well, we need you back in 5."
Because I have to go sit in the back.
Wait, is this your horror story?
No.
Okay,
but 2. that just popped into my head because it was pretty horrible. Horror story and not customer wise, but just work wise. Sorry, John, I know I'm throwing you under the bus, but you left me by myself to the entire store. It was a mid-shift.
What? That never happened. I've never seen that happen. Wait, why are you looking like that, Jeff? Because you saw
because he is being called out, and I have tried not to call him out, but I'm enjoying this.
But do you guys have any contact with him? No, so it's okay.
No, sorry, John, but I'm sure. Hey, we all evolve. We all do that. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was left alone to make the drinks. Take the first, get the drinks. Get the orders right on main. And then,
for how long were you left alone?
I was left alone for I want to say about like 45 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's a long time for an afternoon shift.
It was like
where was the other people?
Yeah, another person was like on their half. Another. Oh,
okay.
It was a skeleton.
But what's your horror person wise?
Oh, horror
customer.
Yeah, worst customer experience.
God. This one guy, he would get I have several, right? So there's this one guy, he would get a grande non-fat, no-whip mocha.
Mm.
Oh, okay. No, it was a tall raspberry non-fat, no-whip mocha.
Oh, raspberry mocha.
And so it had made it, and said on the bar, okay, tall raspberry non-fat mocha, and he went to grab it, and it fell out of his hand. And he just like,
it fell onto the
like
bar.
a dog, like a dog or a cat, just like, can I get another one? I'm like,
wow.
I mean that's not as horrible as this one. This dude he would come in all the time. He would come in the morning, and this one night he came in. I was a closing shift supervisor, and so like I could handle people like giving me crap,
right?
But like if you mess with my crew,
right?
Fuck you,
Mama Bear.
Total Mama Bear. And so this guy he came in and he's on his cell phone.
Loved
and,
it. Loved
just
it.
being obnoxious, and he just like, doesn't acknowledge the person I'm being, and just like,
yeah, that
order.
became a thing once when cell phones came.
He was like on his phone. He's like, a tall latte. Oh, not that. Glasses are falling out. And so it was called to this kid, Ricky. I loved Ricky. Bar, and he, a few more people came in, and it was like right before the last opener or closer would come in, so it kind of skeleton, right? And so it was just he and I, and then the person on main, and drinks started piling up, but Ricky has it going on, and so he had called his drink, this dude's drink. Okay, here's your tall mocha latte, and guys on the phone, and he's in the lobby just walking around, talking, not paying attention, and he goes up to Ricky and he goes, hey boy,
Wow,
where's my drink?
Gross.
That's terrible.
And so I jumped in. I was just like, oh, he called your drink about 5 minutes ago and you would have heard it if you weren't on your phone. And he goes, what? I go, your drink has been called. It's been waiting for you for a while. He's all, you're fired. You're so fired.
Wait, was it Donald Trump?
You're fired.
If it was Donald Trump, I would
my favorite
drink.
My favorite part is when people would say, I know Mr. Starbucks all the time. And I would say, oh, do you? And they're like, yes, I know Mr. Starbucks. And I go, well, this name is based off of a fictional character.
Yeah.
There is no Mr. Starbucks. And they would say, I'm going to call, or I know people in corporate, or I have stock. This is my favorite. I have stock in this company. So, and I was like, everybody has stock in this company. I go,
I have stock in this company too.
Sadly, I did not.
Did you have stock?
I did have stock.
Did you sell it all?
I stupidly sold it all. Yeah, I should have held on to it as I was listening to you guys. I was just like,
at least you did better than me.
Sorry, Adela.
But yeah, no, that guy was terrible, and we got into it, and I was there for another 5 years. So I'm like,
so you basically your home was always Studio City unless you were covering a shift.
And how many years did you work there?
7.
Okay.
Yeah. So I covered Toluca Lake, I covered Sherman Oaks, I covered Encino. That was insane. Just so many, and just like.
But we have to get to the $1 million question.
Oh, okay.
Not that $1 million question. The
this
other
one.
$1 million question.
One?
The other question is a very serious question. This is the $1 million question. Just real briefly, quickly, when you went into, because I'm looking at the time. I'm the producer of the show. I'm not being rude, everyone.
I know.
I'm watching the time.
You're being a good girl.
I'm trying to produce the show. And then I have to be the bad guy once again.
You're not being a bad guy. Okay. You're asking the $1 million question.
I'm asking $1 million because I really know this is like we've done 3 episodes on this. So she's the one who discovered the alumni. I feel like I have deja vu. The alumni poster. When you saw the alumni poster, do you normally go to that store?
No, I mean, like I do every once in a blue moon. Like I had dropped off my son at his
Did you
job.
ask anybody about it when you saw it, or
I was just like, because I know you guys were doing this
right,
and so I was just like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
so
you sent it to me.
I took a picture of it,
yeah,
and I sent it to you, and this was in June because Paul and I went out to an early Father's Day dinner. We went for sushi at Katsuya, and I was just like, check this out. And so he did. He did the
Yeah.
barcode or the
Yeah.
code.
Yeah, QR
Right,
code.
and then like it was just like, oh, all of these people have done like other things, but they all got started at Starbucks, you know, like now they're doctors.
What
and
made
lawyers and
you
all that
think
stuff.
to look? I mean, what made you be
Oh.
drawn to look? Because it's kind of in a weird place.
It
Yeah.
is in a way,
It's
but
not a place I would normally even think to look. I didn't even know those stupid things were
Bulletin
there.
board thing.
yeah, I mean, like it's where like where they used to have the half and half. And
Yeah,
half
the
and
condiment bar.
all the condiment
Mhm.
bar. Yeah,
Mhm.
and so I needed like a napkin, and I went. And I was just like, oh,
That's
you know,
awesome.
I
That's
was like,
perfect.
okay.
Very organic.
Yeah.
I
So
love
I was
it.
just like, all right, so what's this about?
Did,
And now,
Mhm.
and
did you
then
sign up for it?
I did not because I'm not going to read through all of that. And also,
She was like
90 pages.
90 pages.
pieced out.
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. But wait, can I ask her the important question now?
The really $1 million, the $2 billion
This is
question.
the very important. Do you, or do you not, or do you?
You're under oath.
Yes, like egg white bites.
So I will say this.
Uh oh.
Under oath.
That when you are trying to watch your carbs and you're hungry,
But do you like them?
and
Sheila,
you're hungry. So yes.
this is what got me into them, by the way, is because they're low cal.
Yes.
See, the truth is out. They're good
I know.
tasting
They're
low cal.
disgusting.
Once again, I got one. And Sheila. I got one. I only got
Listen,
one.
we've had 3 people. Well, we had Tony, but we didn't ask Tony.
She beat the streak, though. Boom.
Yeah. Thanks, Sheila.
I'm so sorry. I mean, I could lie.
But she's saying exactly.
Disgusting.
She's saying exactly why I started
Yeah.
eating them,
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, because all they have is pastries and this
Yeah.
and that. I was like, it's like low cal and it fills you up,
Yeah.
and I
And
like.
they're like,
But I got one. Okay.
so 2 for me, 1 for you.
Yes.
We'll see who the next person goes for. I might have to give them a little talking to before the interview and prep them.
That is cheating.
You didn't prep me.
That is cheating.
That is cheating.
That is cheating.
I'll give you a free drink coupon.
Not only is
You
it
cannot
cheating,
use.
but it's not how you run a proper show. You cannot make the
okay.
guests say what you want them to say.
Okay.
I mean, you could.
So
but
now,
Yes.
Sheila,
yes.
favorite celebrity sighting
Yes.
besides Hugh Grant and Elizabeth Hurley?
There were so many, but you know who was the coolest?
Who?
Okay.
Brett Butler.
Really?
Oh,
She
that
was
makes
the
sense.
coolest.
It makes sense.
She was she.
I could see
like,
that.
She just like down to earth.
It's like, just pour me some drips,
yeah,
all right?
and like here $5 tip because speaking of tips, there were a lot of people who would take their freaking nickel back
Oh yeah.
or their
Oh yeah.
dime, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, are you kidding? There was this one actor who would come in all the time, and we knew him, and we would always like give him like a comp because we got free drinks during his shift,
Uh-huh.
right? And so one of us would always give him a comp. Mofo never tipped.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no. Brett
By the
Butler
way,
was hella
George
cool.
went, just to a callback. George went. They tip $10 or $15,
Oh,
sometimes
nice.
20 every time,
Very
every
nice.
morning.
I always thought Duff was really cool from Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
We
yeah?
talked about Duff, but this is a name
This
I
is-
haven't heard.
You know who
Yeah.
Brett Butler is?
Yes, I do.
Grace Under Fire.
Yes,
I'm just for the people at home, Adela. Don't
great.
give me that.
Okay,
look.
she was an
She
old.
used to be- yeah.
She was an old school. She's
Comedian.
an old
Yeah.
comedian, and she got her own show called Grace Under Fire.
Yeah.
Southern.
And she's been
Or
out
shot
of
over at CBS
the loop
Record.
for a while.
Yeah.
Because of other problems.
Then-
Yeah,
the-
exactly.
Another very, very, very cool celebrity was Bonnie Raitt. She had
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I would have melted into the floor.
She was so cool. She just got a regular coffee, it
Mhm.
dripped,
Mhm.
and she
Makes
went to
sense.
the condiment bar and it spilled. And so she came up and she's like, "I'm so sorry. Can I get like a rag? I spilled my coffee." And I'm like, "Oh, I'll get it." She's like, and she went and she cleaned up her mess
And then you gave her 3 free coffees
every single time.
Oh,
and a croissant.
And the croissant. Her
Croissant.
hubby, not so much, but she was cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do you got? Think we
What's
got
your
it.
favorite drink?
Oh,
My
Today.
favorite-
Today.
Yes.
Today, it's a cold brew. So a variation is, but like probably the salted caramel cold brew when I want to
you are
splurge.
fancy.
I do like the salted caramel cold brew. That is good. Yeah.
But normally, like, when I want like a real coffee taste, to me the cold brew is the only one that tastes like,
coffee and not
coffee
candy. Have you tried the boba yet?
No, I'm not at Starbucks. At other places I have had.
I tried it.
Do you like those balls?
It was the first time I didn't like balls in my mouth.
It's the first time. It's the first for everything, everybody. He said no to the balls.
They burst in my mouth and I didn't quite enjoy it.
Wow.
Okay. Keep it clean.
I'm talking about the raspberry pearls.
Yes, we're talking about boba.
Talk about pearls on your mouth.
And what are you doing today? What is Sheila?
Yeah,
what is Sheila doing now?
What are you doing now?
Oh, well, I consider myself a Jill of all trades because I'm an actor. I've had so many different jobs. So I'm still acting. I took a break just to like revamp my stuff, and we also had the actor strike and
pandemic, actor strike.
So I refused to age because they brought 4 years for me. So from the pandemic to the
that's
strikes,
funny. So does Adela.
I just don't age. That's it.
But right now, my day job, somehow I became an HR for like some like home health agency. So I'm there part time.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Well,
HR.
Yeah. Well, it's to like
they're good people.
I know. I'm good. I'm good to these nurses.
Okay.
But I've been like a teacher for science it's called Professor Egghead.
I've seen those.
Yeah,
little kiosk. I mean, like store things.
I was a life insurance agent for a while.
You have done a lot, Sheila.
I worked at Douglas Elliman, office coordinator, just everywhere. So.
But your first job will always be mom. Oh, come on.
I mean, come on.
Yes?
No, I don't.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's true, but
No?
she's a person.
Oh yeah, I mean, like it is, forever while you're raising these kids, like you're just mom, and I know the two kids will always be mom, but
It's true. It's
Can
true.
I call you mom?
You can call me mom.
That's really what this was about.
Anything else you want to share about your Starbucks experience? You got a husband out of it. I got a husband out of it. And subsequently children. And children. And, honestly, like lifelong friends, I know we haven't seen each other in forever. I know, but you were social media. You were there in my hospital room after I had my first child. Right.
Aww.
And we went to each other's weddings. I mean, like Rob Cox and Nick Onofrio, they're our closest friends from Starbucks.
You still friends with Rob Cox?
Oh my God! Yes.
I follow him on Facebook.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, no, he's back in Montana and doing. He's awesome.
4 kids, right?
4 children. Yeah.
Wow.
And his daughter, I believe she's going to school in Chicago. So that's pretty cool. It all comes full circle to Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Chicago people say.
That's
for sure.
insane. But we have said on the show with every guest how the experience that we had in the 90s was something that I have never matched as far as connections, being thrown into this crazy social experiment at the time, this cultural phenomenon, fishbowl, where we were on stage. And then it sort of bonded us not only in work, but in life because of that. Yeah. It's just something that the kids nowadays may not have experienced. I don't know.
Yes.
Actually, no, like my daughter at Pete's, because all the people, all the old customers, I'll see old customers of ours from Studio City at Pete's, which is up
right up the street from there.
Yeah. And so my daughter did experience a little bit of what we had, but it's not as strong. I don't know.
Because it was like at the beginning.
Because
it was beginning times.
The beginning of all that coffee culture, corporate coffee.
We were bonding over that,
and and having to learn the lingo and and people being frustrated with us because they thought that we were correcting them. It's just no, this is just how we speak to each other. I did have customers say you call it drip, but I speak American.
Yeah, that was common. Well, thank you so much for coming
Sheila,
on. And
so good.
if somebody would like to follow you, if you want them to follow you, where would they follow you at?
Follow me on Instagram, Sheila Mo Guerrero. Also on TikTok.
You have to spell it out, Sheila.
SHeilaMoguerrero.
We'll tag her, and thank you so much for coming on. This has been like a trip down memory lane.
It's been wonderful.
And don't forget to you could follow Jeff
at It's Jeff Funny on Insta.
And don't forget to follow us at When Starbucks Was Fun. And please send in your emails to when Starbucks Was Fun at Gmail. We are still trying to get a hold of Starbucks.
Come
on. What's up?
No
Call.
movement.
No movement.
You kind of owe us.
Like, give us a call and kind
We're
of
still
respond.
traumatized.
We really want to work with you. Don't forget.
Yeah, we want to work with you.
We want to work with you.
We have good people who will be involved.
We have a lot of people involved. So you can, those of you who are listening, though, you can send to When Starbucks Is Fun. And also, please put in reviews and comment. It helps. Follow us on Instagram. You can watch this on YouTube for those of you who like to watch When Starbucks Was Fun. You can follow me at Adele Levine on Instagram, TikTok, and my website. Everything is Adele Levine. And
are we going to say the...
Yes, I'm going to say. Okay. And remember, when Starbucks was fun when we were young?
When the bean was king.
Bye. Bye.